Good morning, everyone. I, Geeta Shreya, on behalf of CMRU University School of Legal Studies, would like to welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of the Center for Skill Development. We have here with us today Honorable Mr. Justice Dikshit Krishna Sripad, Judge, High Court of Karnataka. We also have Honorable Sri Justice P.N. Desai, Judge, High Court of Karnataka, who have kindly consented to be the guests of honor. We also have amongst us our beloved chairman, Sri K.C. Ramamurthy sir, and Dean Professor Dr. T.R. Subramania sir. It is said that God's blessings comes as a surprise, and how much we receive depends on how much we believe. Let us therefore start the program with an invocation song by Priyanka Raja Reddy.
Ya kundetu तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणा वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शंकर प्रभृति पूजिता समां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषचार्यापहा निःशेषचार्यापहा.
Thank you, Priyanka. What a beautiful way to begin this new journey. Moving along, when darkness comes, let us not condemn the dark, but light a lamp to illuminate. Now, I request our guests of honor and all the dignitaries on the dais to inaugurate the Center for Skill Development by lighting the ceremonial lamp. I now call upon our beloved Dean, Professor Dr. T.R. Subramania sir, who is known for his futuristic vision and zeal to reform legal education. Sir, I request you to kindly deliver the welcome address.
A very good morning to all of you who are present here. On behalf of the CMR group of institutions, as well as on behalf of the beloved chairman, Sri K.C. Ramurthy, I deem it a great privilege to welcome the two judges who are sitting before you. Mr. Krishna Sripad Dikshit happened to be a very great judge today, and whose judgments, especially written in a few branches of law, have been appreciated by everybody. He happened to be a student of the New Law College and completed his LLB special in the year 1984.
You were my student. I was your student.
Yes.
I like 1981.
So he enrolled himself as an advocate in 1989. I just intend to make a reference to the University Law College. The University Law College, Harvard, happened to be the Harvard of Karnataka. And most of the eminent judges or the lawyers of today, at least 50% of them have retired, are from the University Law College. It had such a reputation and it had such wonderful teachers. And both Padmaraj Desai as well as physics happened to be products of the University Law College in Harvard. Now, he enrolled himself as an advocate in the year 1989 and started practicing straight away in the High Court of Karnataka. And he specialized in the area of writs, especially in matters pertaining to constitutional law. And he was keen in practicing the matters pertaining to election law, in service matters, and especially Land Reforms Act. That is how the formative period of the judge has come up, and remember, built up. And later, in the year 1999, he was appointed as the standing counsel for the government. Later in 2006, and thereafter, he was the standing counsel for several institutions of the central government. He was the standing counsel for the Election Commission of India. He was the standing counsel for the University Grants Commission. He was the standing counsel for the telecom regulatory authorities. And he was also the counsel for what we call it the University of Animal Husbandry or Veterinary University of the State of Karnataka. There are plenty of such organizations, both run at the state level and at the national level, of which he was the standing counsel. And added to this, it was in the year 2014, he was appointed as the Assistant Solicitor General of India. And from that post, he rose to DC Heights. And later, he was appointed as a judge of the High Court of Karnataka. And later, in the year 2020, he became a permanent judge. And Mr. Dikshit is known for his qualities of head and heart. On behalf of the CMR group of institutions, I welcome you, sir, and I request Praneshwar. We have another guest of honor, Padmaraj Nemichandra Desai. And he was born in 1961 on May 21st. And he completed his preliminary education for primary and secondary at Navalkon, the Dharwad district. Most of you may not be knowing, Navalkon was an important place. Most of the farmers' movement in Karnataka have taken place in Navalkon. And he hailed from such a family. And is the son of a distinguished lawyer who has been practicing in Navalkon itself. Having completed his primary and primary and secondary education in Inaugural, P.N. Desai came to Hubli, and he became a student for the Bachelor of Science at PC Japin College. PC Japin College happened to be a famous college that all of us know because I have been serving in the University Law College as an assistant professor in the initial formative period. And from there, on completion of Bachelor of Science, he joined the LLB program, LLB special program for the University Law College. Thus, he completed his LLB special in the year 1984. From 1984 to 1992, he was working with his father. And his father was a member of the Minority Commission. And he was also a social activist. And it is there he grew up. And his career was made. It was in 1992 he was selected as the principal judicial magistrate. And almost for a period of 10 years, he served in different capacities. He served in Kalburgi, he served in Turku, he served in Turukere, and many other places. And it is where he learned to apply the art of practice in his judgment and in his hearing. It was in 2002 he was appointed as a civilian judge. And as a civilian judge, remember, he has served in several places, including Hassan. And later he was appointed as the Deputy Secretary to the Parliamentary and Legislative Department of the Government of Karnataka, the Law Ministry. And then he was appointed as a draftsman. So for every one of us, legal skill is required. And here is the man who actually acquired the drafting skill at that time. Now, as a civilian judge, his contribution is immense, as I just pointed to you. Later in the year 2009, he became a district judge. And as a district judge, he has served in several places. He has served as a judge of the family court in Bangalore. And he has served as the head of the mediation. He was actually trained by the mediation center of the government of Karnataka. Now we speak of mediation. The other day you have heard the Niranjan Bhatt and how mediation as an institution grew. And the person is trained from the mediation center and was a judge in the family court. Later, what has happened was he was appointed as the deputy director of the Judicial Academy of the government of Karnataka. And thereon he became the secretary to the Chief Justice of the High Court of Karnataka. Now, as a district judge, he served in several places and he served in Chikmagalur district as well. In 2020, he was appointed as an additional judge and he became a permanent judge on 25th of September 2021. And this is the career of Desai. And if you just see the career of these two persons, you get to know the immense experience. One person has gained experience as a standing counsel to the best of institutions established by the government. The other person, remember, from becoming a judge from the position of a Muslim to the position of a civil judge to the working as a deputy secretary in the legislative department to becoming a judge in the family court, get trained in the mediation center and becoming a district judge. What experience is involved in a man's life? And we have two of us. I request to give on behalf of the CMRU institutions, give a bouquet of flowers. Honorable Chairman Shri K.C. Ramurthy was with us, and being a member of the Parliament, there were a lot of people to see him. He was with us and talked to the judge, and ultimately he had to go back. So many visitors wants to see him, and he just went back, and he has conveyed his best wishes to you, to us, to all of us. And the result, I request the MC to connect the person.
Thank you, sir. I now request Honorable Minister Justice Dixit Krishna Sripad to kindly enter the gallery.
My beloved teacher, guide and philosopher, Professor T.R. Subramanian, my senior colleague, Brother Desai, the members of the teaching staff, and the most beloved students, because I also happen to be a student. It gives me immense pleasure to come to institution of this stage and share my past experiences as a lawyer and as a judge. It was Oliver Wendell Holmes who said in 1903, a judge's job is not worth doing if they do not go back to the campus. It really enriches us. It generates, it rekindles the sense of studenthood, which is most essential for anyone. So I have been invited to come here is well and good, but it was more like a warrant for presence. If I was not invited, I would have requested you to invite me here. The topic is also a very good topic, which is going to help you much when you leave the campus and come to the true world, which is arguably harsh. It was Lee Yutang who said, your years of learning in the campus will not cause you much harm if you start reading after leaving it. In campus, we learn, but after you leave the campus, you have much more to unlearn because you have to equip yourself to the harsh outer world. You will be in competition. And competition level, you are all aware, it's very high, tortuous at times. So the need for skill arises, skill development arises. You are not asked to write a beautiful love poem. Poem you can write. You can go to hillside. You can go to seashore. That we can do. But acquiring legal skills is not that simple. It becomes simple and can be made one if you have an inclination for that. Otherwise, it is difficult. The first requirement of legal skill is clarity of thought. Acquiring clarity of thought and articulated speech. Unless your thought is clear, your speech cannot be articulated. A thought expressed in the form of sound becomes your speech. What is our speech? Vyakta, ukti, vyakti. Vyakta, who is capable of expressing himself. Is it to express? What is that you are going to express? Your thought, your idea. Therefore, you should have clarity of thought and ideas. I think it was Dobelli one of the famous Jewish authors were written a book on Art of Thinking Clearly. You can check it on Google. Art of Thinking Clearly. That's essential. In ancient India, Vyakarana, Tarkashastra, Mimamsa, Yama, Niyama, all these were taught. They were taught intensively during the Gurukula days. But nowadays it is not that way. You have to develop those arts. Therefore, that you can do, provided you spend time for that. You make investment of your time and toil in that, not otherwise. So the first requirement I said, I'm repeating, art of thinking clearly and art of speaking articulated. It was Bertrand Russell, a great mathematician and philosopher, who said, if your language is not good, then what is said is not what is meant. If what is said is not what is meant, then what is required to be done remains undone or misdone. Therefore, you should have a very effective tool of language, expression, communication. It is not that you should become Shakespeare, Byron, Keats. No, it's a communication. Those who did not have good language, even they were very good, very effective speakers. Balkiwala, the great jurist, seen which every common has written, Balkiwala, the man. Sorabji and Tata, the Balkiwala, the courtroom genius. He did not have good speech at all. He was worried because he came from a family which is to manufacture palanquins, Pallaki in Kannada. They were the manufacturers of palanquins. That's how Balkiwala came. And he wanted to become a teacher, English teacher. Another lady competed. He did not fare well. Lady was selected and he was sent back. He did not cry in darkness. He made up his mind that I should improve myself. In Bhagavad Gita, there is one sloka. It is you who should decide as to how you should develop. Nobody will come to your aid. See, you only have to do that. So it is you, and it is you. The second requirement is having wide range knowledge. We do not know which matter you have to handle as a lawyer. You should know every branch of law, every branch of knowledge. There is a very curious book by A.P. Herbert, Uncommon Law. I have read about common law. Professor has said many lectures, common law. There is Uncommon Law by A.P. Herbert. He mentions one case where a small village, Padigpatna, on the seashore, a whale was washed to the shore, and people were very happy that we need not go for fishing at all. It's a huge whale, we can feed on it. How long it will take? Within a few days, it started decaying, and there was stinking smell. These people wrote a letter to the government to remove that whale. It is impossible to live in the village. Then government, you know how it works. Government anywhere in the world has got its own way of working. It always competes with the snail in speed, whichever country. The difference is in degrees, not in kind. And the government did not do anything. The people went for dharna, which you see nowadays. Lot of dharna will take place inside, outside, all that. Then it became very difficult for the ministry. He said, to which department of the government you want the representation? They said, we have made it to fisheries department. Then we have to consult the attorney general because we are under the impression whale is not a fish. So we have to consult whether it is an animal. So they sent letter to animal husbandry department. Animal is falling there, so it is called a big fish, whale. It's your department. They said, see, we are not in the biology laboratory. Whether it is a fish or an animal, we go by common perception. Therefore, it is within your precincts. Then the dharna flared up. Dharnas, you have seen how dharnas happen in this country. It happened there also. Then it became very difficult for the governments. There was another leader who said, government is one common entity. You may have so many departments. All those departments are not in the branches. They are your limbs. Whether fisheries department or animal husbandry department, whoever, remove them. They say government works in accordance with law. So there is transaction of business goods, allocation of business goods. One department cannot interfere in the works of other department. So we will consult the attorney general. In that, the entire whale became a skeleton. And people took away very huge sizes of the bones. They took some bones from that and started making artifacts and started selling them at 10 Downing Street in London. The Rajapathas came and said, oh, it's a whale. It's a treasure trove that belongs to none, belongs to government. It's a government property. You have misused that property. See, one whale, whether it is a fish or an animal. So how are you going to address that issue? You will not be in a position to address it unless you have exposure to various branches of knowledge. That is the reason why in the Indian culture we say, genius we say, nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitra miha vidyate. There is nothing as sacred as knowledge. And this country is Bharata. Bha in Sanskrit means knowledge. Not some Bharata. So many Bharatas have ruled this country. So many great kings, greater kings have ruled this country. But this country is not named after them. Bharata is not the etymology of Bharat. Bharata means a land of seekers of knowledge, not a land of warriors. Okay? Therefore, you should strive to acquire more and more knowledge. More and more knowledge you acquire, less and less you feel that I know. Very knowledge is like that. Second. Third one, you should know the facts of your case. You should have the art of marshalling the facts. After all, what is that law? Law is the response of the state to the ascertained facts. You may have a definition from Austin to Scandinavian realism. But what is that law ultimately? Law is nothing but a response of the state or the society to the ascertained facts, which Bentham called as vital facts. the facts that give rise to right, duty, obligation, immunity, capacity, so many things, offense square which you have, which professor used to teach us. Dual correlatives. They arise from the facts only. Therefore, you should know why your client is here. Facts of the case you should know. That part of questioning the facts. Then it will be a case of cattle trespass. Will you be happy with that? You have to know about the cattle. You should know about trespass and not trespass is a crime. So naturally you go to Wilfred insurance. Bangia, R.K. Bangia, Achyutam Pillai, the Indian ex-brother-in-law, on thought, crimes. So you can't say I am a cattle trespass lawyer and therefore I will not need other branches of law. The law will take you to the farthest lands, to the farthest provinces of knowledge. You feel insecure that I never had heard of this. So, facts, you should learn the art of taking the facts. But you should never confine to the file, never confine to the brief which your client has handed you. Transcend that. First know that, then transcend that. What's the point? Then brevity. See, you have to draft your pleadings. Pleading should not be too verbose. It should not be too verbose. It should not be truncated. It should not be too brief also. But brevity it should have. If it is too bulky, as a judge I am telling you, perhaps my brother also will share this. If the file is very bulky, the chances of getting justice are bleak for two reasons. One, we don't have so much time. We decide about we treat nearly about 100 cases a day. Compare this with the cases that the American judges, English judges, Israeli judges treat a day. For a year, it will not be. We treat more than 100 cases every day. We don't say that we are disposing of them, but we treat them. We hold the papers, turn the pages, look into, then we may adjourn for XYZ reason. But there are many stages also. So don't make the judge feel bad after seeing the thickness of the file. Too bulky. Even judgments are like that nowadays. Palkiwala used to say, writing a judgment, preparing a thesis are two different exercises. So bulky. I don't say it should not be bulky, but it should be intelligible to the person who has come before you, who has brought the cause before you. If you read Kishwananda, which Dr. Upendra Bakshi called as the future constitution of this country, in fact, Shirvai, it is said, Shirvai is suggested to Apex Court to constitute three judges to know what is this. Therefore, be brief. Life is not too long. It was Thomas Carlyle who said, life is too short to be little. So give a concession to the life of the judge and to your own lives. Be brief. Even in your argument, your submission. Be brief. There was one concept like brandy speech in America. Not this brandy, beer, etc. That also will be required for beautification of the life of good dinner. But at least today that is not the topic here. Unless your professor calls me for the next gathering to speak on that, I will not be able to say anything on that. Brandy became associate judge of the US Supreme Court. He was a lawyer, he was at the bar for quite long years.
to prepare the briefing in such a way, one word you cannot delete, one word you cannot add. And it was very difficult for the judges to say anything in addition or deleting anything from the briefing. Such a wonderful branding. You can see that. So try to be responsible. All the other things I am not arguing because I am not the speaker of the subject. Mine is an inaugural address. I am setting the direction with a lot of flexibility for the margins. If you are knowledgeable, if you have art of marshalling the facts and writing a brief, a plain written statement, petition, application, representation, whatever name you call it with, if you are knowledgeable, you can do it in no time. R.C. Cooper versus Union of India, the bank nationalization case. Altiwala had drafted the petition within 3 hours. He drafted that petition within 3 hours. Small injunctions for preparing a plain will take days. Why? Because clarity of thought is not there. And articulated presentation is not there. It was prepared within 3 hours. The nationalization banks that were put in challenge before the next. And find out new techniques. Don't cling on to the past much. There is one sloka in Prakarani Vikishanatas, in Shataka Trayas. There is one sloka. Gata shokam na kurvita, bhavisham naiva chinta, vartamaneshu karyeshu or vartamaneshu karyeshu vartayanti vichakshana. Don't cling on to the melancholy of the past. Do not have the fear of future. Present is a gift. You are tolerating my speech. Enjoy with the present because you have no option. Enjoy. So try to enjoy your laborious work also. Enjoy the work as if it is a sports. The difference between sports and the work is whether you like it or not, you have to do. Sports is both body and your mind will cooperate. You will never feel tired at all. Approach your matter that way. That helps you. The new techniques I was telling you. Don't cling on to the past. Whenever constitutional provision problem is brought before you, don't say, no, this is not discussed in the Constituent Assembly. Many things are not discussed. Whether basic structure doctrine was discussed in the Constituent Assembly? No. Then how it came? Has it come from as a word from the pew to the parliament and other organs of the state? No. It was later. At least 2 German scientist workers had found out this doctrine. So that was treated by fertile minds. We never said, no, this was not discussed by Ambedkar, the architect, chief architect of the Constitution in the Assembly, Constituent Assembly. Therefore, we will not say anything. Bhaktiar Khilji, who burned the libraries in Takshila, Nalanda, he came there and asked, what are these? The priest said, these are all libraries. What is meant by library? These are storehouses of knowledge and information. Do they have what our Quran has? Yes. Do they have what our Quran does not have? Yes. Then there is no justification for them to be part of it. Don't have that attitude. Don't have that attitude. The scriptures are not going to help, be it Gita, Veda, Bible, Quran, Chanda, Vishnu. They will not take you beyond because they are time bound. Maybe there are certain eternal ideas, great ideas, great values they have. Have them, but transcend them. Don't find the problems to all constitutional questions, issues. Only by knocking at the doors of, close with the doors of Constituent Assembly. Many doctrines have entered. How they enter? By technique, by skill, acumen. How that was done? They have seen that Keshavananda Bharati, 13 judges, 6 on this side, 6 on that side. One lone walker, Justice Khanna. And how to decide? Immediately, Chief Justice, Honorable Chief Justice Sikri, called the meeting of the judges. After he skipped off his meal, lunch, and asked them, say very loose judgment. He said, plurality of judgments. It becomes difficult for the other organs of the state and the people, jurists like you, academicians, to know what is decided. At least we will say on which we are agreed or on which we are not agreed. He prepared a small, the last pages of Keshavananda Bharati, 73 something. They have articulated what has been decided in these judgments, reality of judgments. But for whether a court which is laying down a precedent, can it say, this is our precedent? Ordinarily, Rupert Cross, an assistant in English law, says, it is not for the judge to say, this judgment has presidential value or not. It is for the next judge to say, when it is cited before. But we transcended that. We say nation needs such an articulation. We articulate it. We say these are the points which we have decided, at least on doctrine of basic structure. We were broadly agreed. Out of 13 folding not signed, you will see the report live. 4 signatures are blank. But it became, as I said, the constitution, future constitution of this country, Keshavananda, quicksands of Keshavananda Bharati. With Professor used to very often refer when I was a student 33 years ago. So think out of the box. There are many, many other things. It was Robert Frost who sang the famous poem, woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promised miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your motivational words. I now request Honorable Shri Justice P.N. Desai to kindly address the gathering.
My respected senior judge, Sri Justice Krishna Dixit, my respected Professor Subramania, teaching faculty of this esteemed institution, my dear young student friends. First of all, I seek apology from Mr. Dixit for coming late for a few minutes, and Professor, because of me, today, sir, I am really extremely sorry. Kindly pardon me.
The Bengal clock shows both time and place.
But it's, I am really sorry. So once again, I seek your apologies. And friends, just now you heard intellectually stimulating and very erudite, scholarly address by one of the distinguished and esteemed judge of this great institution, Karnataka High Court. And in fact, when Professor Subramanian called me and told me that Justice Dixit is also addressing, then immediately I agreed because I wanted to hear his lordship and because I wanted to learn so many things. Just now you heard how many books, how many authors, how many judgments important of national and international level lordship has referred. So you must know it's not an easy thing to refer and say all those things in a casual manner. It requires a lot of hard work. That is why lordship said it's one has to go, miles to go. Yeah, I heard that his lordship every day wakes up at 3:30 a.m. and study. And that is why he will be able to deliver very excellent and erudite speech and thoughts he can express. But I am not so expert in that field. Sir, it gives me immense pleasure to address always students. Just 2 days back, I went to University Law College and we all remembered you, sir, there. Professor Bhatt was there, Professor Desai was there, and we had a get together. In fact, when Professor told me that they are going to inaugurate, start a cell, that is a skill development cell in the university. I'm really very happy to know that because every profession needs a skill nowadays. As Honorable Justice Dixit told, it's a world of competition. Competition is so much. Students' days are totally different, and when you enter the field, it's totally a big area. So in this legal skill in the legal profession, it's called as a profession. You must remember. It's not some course or something like that. It's a legal. It's a profession. It's called as a noble profession. And I told Professor Subramanian that, in fact, instead of already you have heard what are the skills required to excel yourself in the field of law. Every day is a learning. Every minute is a learning. I just wanted to bring to your notice, you might have heard, that what are the options open to you after completing LLB. Earlier, those were the days only after LLB you were to practice and nothing. In fact, a student who has not scored much and used to join the LLB course and there were no other options. But friends, nowadays, in view of globalization and development of this intellectual property rights and commercialization and entire globalization of the business and coming to force of use of information technology, artificial intelligence, days have changed. So we have to change. It's not earlier days. And the law is a one course. If you complete LLB, you have got several options open. If you complete other degrees, see, important organs of the state are executive, legislature, and judiciary. Once you complete LLB, you can become an executive also. You can appear for competitive exams and be an executive. You can contest election, be a politician, be a MLA, or MP or minister. But if you are an engineer or doctor, you cannot become a judge. You have to practice before the court of law. It's only LLB, you can do anything. So this is I congratulate you for choosing this course. And it's not that the field is confined only to practicing law at the court of law. There are so many options nowadays. Arbitration is there, mediation is there. A lot of firms are there. You can join a government office as a law officer. You can become prosecutors, public prosecutors. You can become draftsman, documentation. It's not that only by practicing law you have to establish your life. It's not confined to only practice, but practice. Litigation is the one thing which gives you satisfaction because it is the only profession where you can serve, in my opinion, of course, you may be having a different opinion. You can serve better society. And everything that is an expertise, that is to effectively execute that work. And you have heard what is required of an advocate or a person in a legal profession, or about language and about duty and about hard work. Of course, as Justice Dixit said, it's only inaugural speech. Just starting of this center. But sir, since I joined the judiciary in 1992, I just wanted to say a few words about why you should choose the judiciary. Because I'm not advocating, I'm not telling you that you should not join other profession or do other things. You can practice, of course. You can become a great judge like Dixit after practicing in the High Court. But things have changed. They are not as earlier. And even nowadays, after completing university, you can appear for magistrate, that is civil judge exam. Now there is no bar of minimum practice. Earlier there were practice 4 years we have to practice. Then only we appear for examination conducted by the High Court. Now there is no bar. At young age you can join a judiciary immediately after completion of LLB. And there are also nowadays other options are there. After completing of senior civil judge for 5 years, you can appear for district judge. Then after completion of 10 years, you can become High Court judge also. Of course, it takes a lot of time. But it's not that the person who joins as the lowest rung will not come up. He will come up. There are instances. There are instances of a person joining as a municipal magistrate, going out to the Supreme Court. Justice Prabhu Chandra, and earlier also one is from Bombay High Court. He rose. Great judge, Justice Amari. He was a district judge at Ahmedabad, Gujarat. He rose to become a Chief Justice of India. Under Justice, just now mentioned Justice Khanna, great judge, was a district judge. He joined the judiciary as a district judge. Rose to become one of the most distinguished judges of this country. Justice Bhanumati recently from the Tamil Nadu district judiciary. No, just Katie Thomas. Katie Thomas, practically the criminal justice system, entire law is case law is rewritten. Katie and Thomas judgments. Till today, they have practically overturned the earlier precedents. So it's not that, of course, you could become a directly judge like this is Dixit, you have got every chance of reaching the Supreme Court also. Of course, it's because why you should become judge means, in my opinion, it's one of the, I believe that's a divine function, being justice, because this country fair in the rule of law, that is the constitution, and that constitution gives us an appointment of judges, and the people of this country give their case and urge before you, and they accept whatever verdict you give. Even if you are a civil judge, if there is no appeal, that judgment is as good as Supreme Court judgment. If no appeal is preferred. And this is the one profession, friends, where there is no interference by anybody. Whether he is a judge in the lowest cadre, civil judge, or a district judge, or any cadre, he is independent in his work. There is no interference by any higher officers or higher judiciaries. It's the only field which I have heard as independent, and this is the only profession and the only wing of the constitution which works always in the gaze of public. Everything is open, we hear the arguments, got the evidence, deliver the judgments, everything is open. But nowadays, even online hearing, hearing also. So transparency is there. Just does everything in there before public only. So friends, and of course, service conditions earlier, those were days, of course, very persons having very serious, very roaring practice like this. I think, in fact, I heard that this is also very reluctant to join because of this profession. They lose, there will be a lot of loss of monetary loss for them because they will be earning, I don't know how much, but once they sacrifice. But why they sacrifice? For you, serving the people of this country, for a noble cause of delivering justice. So it's a noble thing, once you become a judge. Money, of course, nowadays it is taken care by the Supreme Court of India. All facilities are good now. It's not like as when I joined in 1992, there were no stenographers, no computers. We used to record by hand. We used to write some orders even by hand. Things have changed. So that is why, as Honorable Justice said, it is only you. It's only you and alone you who can bring the change. As the father of the nation once said, be the change you want to see in the society. So if you want to change anything in the society, if you want to change the world, first it is you who must change. And that requires continuous and continuous study, hard work, dedication, devotion, and that is why that skill you will acquire. By that you will deliver goods in a better manner. Because as Honorable Justice Dixit said, the competition is very much. It's now a survival of the fittest. It's not so easy. But you have to excel yourself, and you alone has to excel. So all the skills you have heard, what are the skills, how to present, how to develop your art of writing and presenting. Everything is important in life, not only learning or getting some marks or something like that. Getting degrees, not getting degrees is something and practical life is different. So with this world, I think already after hearing this, there's nothing for me, but I am very much grateful to you, sir, for giving me this heavenly sense opportunity to hear Justice Dixit, sir, and share few of my experience and thought with you. And I love to visit college, sir, want to share and interact with the students. And as our Justice Dixit sir said, we are all students. Till the end, we are students. Life is always a learning process. So wish you all in your career. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. Gratitude, it is said, the mother of all virtues. May I now request Dr. V.J. Praneshwaran, sir, our principal, to kindly propose the vote of thanks. Vice Principal, I'm so sorry.
Should I be thanking you for that? Indeed, it is a great honor for all of us, especially personally for me, to be among this August gathering, to hear two intellectual judges speak about a very specific topic on skill development. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of CMRU University School of Legal Studies to this August gathering. We would like to express our deepest thanks to Honorable Justice Dixit Krishna Shripad, High Court of Karnataka, for his insightful address and for inaugurating the Center for Skill Development.
Thank you, Your Lordship. I request our beloved Dean to kindly hand over the We are grateful to Honorable Mr. Justice Pavana Hemachandra Desai, Judge High Court of Karnataka, for accepting our invitation to be the guest of honor. Also for his insightful address, equally insightful address. He matched though he was continuously telling, giving credit to Justice Dixit, matched his stature. Thank you, Your Lordship. I request our team, sir, to kindly hand over the number to Your Lordship. We thank our Honorable Chairman Shri K.C. Ramurthy Member of Parliament Rajya Sabha and Chairman CMRU institutions for his guidance and supervision. I also thank our beloved Dean Professor T.R. Subramaniam for leading us from the front. And I thank all the faculty and student volunteers for making this event. If any questions, anybody would want to ask any questions?
Nowadays, for skill development, we notice that students and children in general, they learn by example. So as they notice the example set by the elders and their seniors, that is what gives a major role in them learning and absorbing the skill. So I would just like to request you to kindly shed some light on what you think is the way for teachers and even parents to set the right kind of example to children and students for skill development.
I wanted to seek refuge under his umbrella, but it turned out to be a leaking umbrella to me. As life does to many in its course. This is one country where we learn by our experience. Sometimes we do not learn also. We don't learn anything by example. Einstein had said, two things are profound. One is this universe, another is human stupidity. But about the second, I am not sure. So one patient went to Sigmund Freud, a great psychoanalyst, a philosopher also, who said, if Hitler were to be my patient, there would not have been Second World War. A mother took the child to the doctor, Sigmund Freud. The child was speaking on a raised voice, as I do very often. And it was raising its left hand, lurching its head on the right side, so that it would fall on his right shoulder. And some cough of some fever right now. He gave medicine and sent back. And said, as doctors do, come again. Again that came, but this time child came with the father. Father was also speaking in a high pitch, raising his right hand, lurching his head on the left side, that it would rest on his left shoulder. And Sigmund Freud wrote, the children are the imitating machines of their parents. So, teachers, parents, teachers, leaders. What the children see, if you read The Rise and Fall of Roman Empire by Gibbon, he gives many reasons he gives. One of the prime reasons for the fall of great Roman Empire is all aristocrat people who wish to handle political power, wealth. They wanted to enjoy life. There were 32 types of things in those days, which they would consume every day. many other things which I cannot reveal here because of the august nature of this gathering. Children not here. They will be knowing also. They gave their children on the lap of the slaves. And children started behaving like slaves. Roman Empire fell down. So this is the importance which we have to attach to the grooming of the next generation. Shivaji, he became Shivaji because Jijabai was that way. Then don't say, I have not become Shivaji because my mother was not there. I have no part in all. After all, it is you. And you alone. Get best examples. Set the best examples which Gurukulas used to do in good olden days. Regardless of the socio-economic status, quality of standard of life of their parents, the children were taken to Gurukula, where best education, best culture. They were not allowed to meet the children also on regular basis because they should not pollute the growing child. That's how it was. But now with this population, our country is long ago 1930, Winston Churchill had said India is not a nation, but it's a mere population. When our population was over 31 crores. Now we have crossed 133, 34 crores. We have some difficulty. Okay, but one thing I tell you, give your children, your students, best standards, and children will take that. That helps. That is how we learn. But I should also say, I think it was Tennyson or somebody that so we had experience, but missed the way. That may happen.
Any more questions, any clarifications, any doubts, questions? No, you will never get this opportunity. Even in court, you don't get to talk to many advocates don't get this chance. Thank you. Thank you, Lordship, for articulating it so well. And lastly, the students, thank you very much for patiently hearing. Hope you take it forward. The mood is set for skill development. You have to take it forward. Thank you all.
May I please request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem?
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे